Hello, live from Radio Row. This is Roy Kessel for Sports Philanthropy Network, and we're very excited to have with us here at Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, Brook Choulet. And Brook is we appreciate you taking time to join us on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're so excited to hear about the work that you're doing both in mental health and in brain health, and we know that those really go together in a lot of respects. So you're down here really in quite a few different capacities,
Yes.
So tell us what you're working on.
Sure. So I'm a board-certified psychiatrist specializing in athlete mental health care. And so I'm here, like you said, with a few different hats on. One is that I am a listed provider for the NFLPA on their mental health registry. And as part of that, I'm a part of their NFLPA Be Well event tomorrow, where I'll be moderating a panel with 2 current and 2 former players, really talking all things mental health, what their struggles have been, the different points in their career. And then the other hat I'm wearing is that I also do media, so I write for Forbes and Psychology Today, and we'll be putting out some coverage on that as well.
So when you look at the mental health side, right, it's something that's always amazed me. You have all of these people here, and almost the entire focus is on the physical performance, the physical aspects of the game. And yet, right, the difference in physical performance is pretty minute between the players, and the gap between the mental performance capabilities is significant. So why is that not more of a focus?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something I'm really passionate about because, like you said, teams invest thousands, if not millions of dollars in making sure their athletes are at tip-top physical shape. But when you get into the league, you could argue that everyone has the physical skill to be there. So what sets apart the great quarterbacks from the rest or the wonderful wide receivers from the rest, I really think is that mental performance and that resilience and grit.
And that resilience is so important because we know one thing that's just a given in sports, right? You're going to fail.
Right.
You're not going to win every game. You're not going to have a perfect performance in every situation. And so when you look at the mental performance elements, what ideas do you have in terms of how the teams could improve the training, right? Right now, for the most part, the individuals are left to themselves. Some players figure it out, some players don't.
Yeah, I think it really starts with education. So talking to players, especially new kind of rookies to a team, why is sleep important? And there's been plenty of studies that show the more you sleep, the less risk of physical injury you have. And so it all starts with education. Why is sleep important? Why is having a routine or a discipline important? And I think it boils down to grit, which is a combination of passion plus perseverance.
And sleep is something that's so underrated, right? We take it for granted, I got to catch a bit of sleep. Even this week, you look at everybody here, people are out and late and then back at Radio Row early. One of the things that I saw recently was a whole diagram of the influence of sleep in terms of how many hours and the decrease in performance and the increase in injury rates. So what's the optimal sleep for most people?
As hard as it is, keeping the bedtime and the wake time consistent is really key. And if you can't keep bedtime relatively consistent, at least keep the wake time consistent. And then, if someone's waking up throughout the night, that could be a sign that maybe they're struggling with anxiety or they're struggling with depression. So really, sleep gives us a whole window into someone's mental health and overall well-being by how long it takes them to fall asleep, how many times they're waking up through the night, and then if they're waking up too early.
So one thing that's always been fascinating for sleep for me is it's not even the total number of hours, right? For people, you go through the different sleep cycles, you go through REM sleep, light sleep, deep sleep. I know I look at my watch in the mornings to try and correlate how I feel or how rested I feel based on what my sleep cycles are. So what can people do aside from keeping those times consistent to get themselves better sleep?
Absolutely. It's a good question, and one that really starts an hour or two before bedtime. So not working out right before you go to bed, not eating right before you go to bed, decreasing digital screen time before you go to bed, really taking time to actually wind down, because people that struggle with insomnia are often doing many of those things. And so really taking a look at the whole person first before starting to ever consider medication.
So it's a good thing we didn't have cell phones when I was in
Right.
college, because my
Exactly.
normal nighttime routine was come back from playing basketball, eat a pizza with a couple Mountain Dews, and then try and go to sleep.
Right.
And at that age, I could do it, right? But I think it's hard, because for most of us, we consider using our device part of a wind down process. Like, my day is done. Now I can just go through my message boards or social media and just take a break, and that's a bad idea.
And as strange as this sounds, one thing I tell people is don't do it in bed. So maybe you have a chair that's right next to your bed, and that's where you look at your phone before actually getting in bed, to then signal to your body it's time to sleep, rather than laying in bed on your phone.
Now, the other thing you're here for also is Lee Steinberg's Brain Health Summit on
Yes.
Saturday. So talk a little bit about how you mesh together, right, the brain, the mental health and mental health performance with brain health.
Yeah, so Lee Steinberg's Super Bowl party is this Saturday, like you said. They have 2 hours this year of programming for brain health, which is different than all the years past. It's only been 1 hour. So I'll be moderating the 1 o'clock panel, which is all about health innovation. And so I'm really excited about that. We have some great people on the panel.
Yeah, we're really excited for that. Lee's been a big supporter of Sports Philanthropy Network, and was a keynote at our Sports Philanthropy World Conference. Just side note for everybody watching, June 26th and 27th in Chicago, hosted by KPMG again. Would love to have you join us. So that panel, tell us about, like, there's so much innovation going on in this space, right? There's so many incredible technologies, apps, science going on in research in this space. Is that panel going to focus on?
Yeah, I think those will be some of the highlights. I'll learn about myself too then. We have someone from an AI company, we have someone from a ketamine clinic, we have someone from University of Missouri's concussion program. So it'll be a really great mix of physicians and psychologists and a founder that's led over, I think it's 200,000 psychedelic assisted therapy sessions.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Brooke, we appreciate you joining us. I know you filled out a card here.
Yes.
So we're going to put this up on our
Thank
wall of
you.
philanthropy. So we'll have you put it right down there.
Perfect. Thank
Great,
you.
and tell us about what you selected as your cause.
Yeah, so my cause is really athlete mental health, and that's why I write for Forbes and Psychology Today, is because I'm so passionate about highlighting the work it takes to feel well in order to do well when you show up on the field.
So thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
This
We're
was
excited
great.
to see you at the Brain Health Summit
Thank you.
and follow along with the work. For all of our viewers and listeners, this is Roy Kessel signing out for Sports Philanthropy Network. Thank you for joining us live from Radio Row at Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. Please remember to live generously.
Thank you.